Dear students, good morning to all. I am Dr. Ramadandu Nag, Department of Political Science. Today I shall discuss Unit 6 of Part A. This is my first class. The title of the chapter is International Organization in a Unipolar World. International organization. Now, what is international organization? It is mainly meant for UNO, United Nations Organization. It is a world body established after the First World War to maintain peace and security in the world. And after 1991, unipolar world system begins, and the role of UNO also has been changed. And in this scenario, the role of UNO will be mainly highlighted. But first of all, we should know UNO, how it was established, and different steps of its establishment. So I shall start with the beginning. After the end of the First World War, the League of Nations was formed for maintaining peace and security in the world, but the League of Nations failed due to several defects or drawbacks in its initial stage, and it failed to establish peace and security in the world, and ultimately it came to an end on in 1939, when the Second World War was continuing. So the preparation of the establishment of United Nations, a new body, was started during wartime. The preparation for establishment of the United States continued throughout the period of the Second World War. In the formation of the UNO, President US President Roosevelt took initiative. Now we shall discuss the different steps for the creation of UNO. The first step towards the formation of UNO is London Declaration 1941. The idea of the organization on 12 June 1941, when British, Australia, New Zealand, and some other states, that is the Union of South Africa, signed London Declaration. It is the first step in the formation of the United Nations. Next step is Roosevelt's Four Freedom. In 1941, President Roosevelt declared that every nationality had right to nationhood. He spoke of four freedoms. Roosevelt spoke of four freedoms. First one is freedom to speech and expression. Number 2, freedom of religion. Number 3, freedom from want. And number 4, freedom from fear. Next step towards formation of UNO is Yalta Alternative Charter, 1941. Roosevelt and Churchill declared the war aim of the Allies through the famous Atlantic Charter, 1941. Next step is adoption of UN Declaration. The 8-point Atlantic Charter is very noble. The representatives of 26 nations adopted the UN Declaration based on the principle of Atlantic Charter on January 1942. This is another step. Next step is Moscow Declaration 1943. The foreign ministers of USA, UK, USSR and China met at Moscow in 1943 and signed a declaration regarding the need to have an international organization. This is an important step. Next step is Dumbarton Works Conference 1944. The plan for the formation on establishment of international organization was drawn up by the USA. It was placed before the representatives of England, USSR, China and some other countries. The conference resolved to construct UNO. Next conference is Yalta Conference, Yalta 1945. Roosevelt, Stalin, Churchill had a conference at Yalta at the Crimea region to discuss the voting procedure of the Security Council. It was also decided at Yalta on February 11, 1945 that a plenary conference of the United Nations would be held at San Francisco on April 25, 1945. Next step is very important step, San Francisco Conference, and this conference is the most important and the last conference for the formation of the UNO. A conference was held at San Francisco. In its plenary session, representatives of 50 nations attended the meeting. In this conference, the charter of the UNO, charter means constitution of the UNO, was finalized. The conference is known as the Birth Conference of the UNO. It is the most important step for the formation of the UNO. Next, adoption of UN Charter. The Charter of the United Nations, I already told you, charter means the constitution. An organization must have a constitution, a state must have a constitution. As UNO is a world body, it has a constitution, it is known as charter. So the Charter of the United Nations was unanimously adopted by the 51st nation on June 25, 1945. The UN Charter is a long document consisting of a preamble and 111 articles. When the Charter received necessary approval of UNO, saw the light of the day on 24 October 1945, and this date is observed as UNO Day or United Nations Day, and all over the world this day is observed as UNO Day every day. So these are the important steps for the formation or establishment of the UNO. I repeat the main points of steps. First one is London Declaration 1941. Second one is Roosevelt's Four Freedom as declared by Roosevelt. Next one is Atlantic Charter 1941. Next is adoption of the UN Declaration. Next is Moscow Declaration 1943. Next step is Dumbarton Works Conference 1945. Next step is Yalta Conference 1945. Next and the most important step is San Francisco Conference 1945, and the UN Charter was adopted on 25th June 1945, and it came into existence on 24th October 1945, and this day is observed as UN Day every year all over the world. So these are the different steps towards the formation of the UNO, and this is an important topic for the understanding of the entire chapter, international organizations in a unipolar world. So my next item is to give a brief idea about the objectives of the UNO. An organization must have certain objectives, and UNO is a world body, world organization. It must have also certain objectives which are mentioned in its charter, that is constitution. So the first aim or objective of the UNO is to maintain international peace and order. To maintain international peace and order. Number 2, to develop friendly relations among nations. Number 2, to develop friendly relations among nations. Number 3, to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems. Number 4, to achieve all these common ends, the UNO intends to be center of harmonizing the action of the nations. There may be questions from this portion, what are the aims of or objectives of UNO. So all these are the objectives of the UNO. Next one is some principles of the UNO. The objectives of the UNO is mentioned in the preamble. The preamble of the UNO states that we, the people of the United Nations, determined to do the following, and these are the principles. Number 1, to save the succeeding generation from the scourge of war, that is fear of war. Number 2, to refrain faith in fundamental human rights. Number 3, to refrain faith in the equal rights of men and women. Number 4, to establish conditions under which justified and respect for international law and international obligation can be maintained. Number 5, to promote social progress and better standard of life. Number 6, to unite our strength to maintain international peace and security. And last one is to employ international machinery for the promotion of economic and social advancement of the people. So all these are the aims, objectives and principles of the UNO. And in next class I shall discuss the different organs of the UNO, its composition and powers and functions and other related problems, that is, related topics, that is some specialized agencies of the UNO and the reconstruction of UNO, reform of UNO, India's demand for getting permanent seat in Security Council, etc., etc., and India or role of India in the UNO. So thank you, and with this I finish my today's discussion. Thank you.